Hi friends, it's Brittany Lincoln Papyrus and welcome back to my channel. You guessed it, here we are on edition 2 of Spooky Paper Dolls. I had so much fun making these with you guys the last time, and I have so many more ideas of things to show you. So grab your magazine images and let's get to it. Because seriously, who doesn't want a paper doll of a lady with bones sticking out of her purse? Or a masquerade doll getting ready to go to a party with a fabulous spiderweb purse. Or a De los Muertos doll getting ready to celebrate the holiday and play some good music. Or a fancy witch doll holding up a bottle of poison. I guess we shouldn't ask too many questions. Oh, and who doesn't love a vampire bride? Guys, if you missed this last tutorial, I will include that in the link above and in the description box. This vampire bride is who we made in the last video. Look at that blood spattered veil. How cool, right? Look at that. So guys, I am so ready to make more of these. Grab your magazine images and a stash of paper, fabric, whatever you have. Let's get to it. I'm not going to bore you. The last video I talked about what makes a good paper doll, what you want to look for in an image, how I prep these. Spoiler alert, if you didn't watch the last video, you're really just cutting these images out and applying a really thin layer of gesso over top, and that will pretty much get you where you need to go. Like I said, if you want the full discussion on that, I will link that above and in the description box. So let's get working on a paper doll. I have a couple of accessories and a couple of plans in mind for these dolls. So guys, you remember in the last video I talked to you a little bit about kind of leaning into the doll's natural positioning or what they're holding in their hands, and instead of it being a handicap, kind of using it to your advantage. So, you know, a traditional paper doll would look something like this. We would just use her, do something basic with her upper half, maybe make a skirt, give her some accessories, whatever. I originally wasn't going to cut this doll out because she's sitting, you know, it looks kind of awkward on its own. Well, we're going to lean into this and help us create a spooky theme, and that's what we did. I printed out a hearse, and we are going to let her sit on the hearse. Kind of weird, but I think this is going to look really cool. So, what do you think about that? And since she's sitting on the hearse, what if we make her a Grim Reaper doll? Let's go with it. Guys, don't be afraid to have fun with these. I'm telling you, these are so much fun. So much fun. Use your imagination. Okay, I can tell you right now, I don't know exactly what I want her outfit to be, but we're not going to do an all black Grim Reaper because I want some contrast between her dress and the hearse, and if we leave it black, it's gonna kind of, I think, just settle in the background, and I want this to be like real rad. Okay, so obviously, okay, like a black hood, a scythe, these are sort of things you think of when you think of the Grim Reaper. So I'm going to work on cutting some of those out. So usually when I want to draw something which I can't draw and I'm not sure, I just pull up a Google photo, and that will oftentimes get you where you need to go. So we're literally just cutting a black little line here. And remember what I told you about when you're making accessories for your dolls, if especially let's say like their arms out here and you're going to put something heavy in their arm, you may want to back the paper doll with cardstock so it doesn't weigh it down and bend it and risk breaking. Okay, but since the scythe is going to be mostly backed up against her, I don't think it'll be a problem. This is such a fun project. I love this so much. I promise I won't subject you guys to a third week of paper dolls, but you know, it's so much fun. Can you blame me? Okay. And we're just drawing something with a point that looks like it could be used as a murderous tool. Wider up top. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I have my Distress Oxide crayons or distress crayons, and I'm just gonna put a little pigment on this to make this look silver, or like an acrylic paint pen, something silver you have will work. And these are water reactive, so I'm just gonna take my little paintbrush. Do you guys enjoy projects like this? I try not to do, like, I try and do some seasonal projects, but I try not to do too many because I don't know how many people like seasonal crafting. So I do want it to be like a year-round, something people, you know, can enjoy. But I am a sucker for seasonal crafting. I love crafting for Christmas. I love crafting for Halloween. So inevitably my channel, some of the content does become very seasonal. But I don't know, drop me a comment below. What do you guys like? Do you like seasonal stuff? Occasionally, not at all seasonal stuff when it comes time to celebrate the holiday? And for those of you who do like seasonal stuff, I wasn't sure when to publish it. Like, some people do their Halloween crafting like really early, and some people just do it like a couple of weeks before. So I don't know, drop me a comment, let me know. This channel is hopefully being made better by you guys who have taken the time to comment and give me feedback and suggestions, and I read all of them and I very much appreciate them. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, so before we glue down her scythe, I think I want to do something with her outfit. Let me grab some fabric, which is usually how I dress my paper dolls. So I think actually it's going to be a little bit challenging the way that she's positioned, but we're going to make it work. I'm going to make a skirt go from here with her part of her hand tucked in so you can still see her hand, so we'll put the scythe there. And we're gonna make a skirt that kind of goes like this, and it's gonna kind of taper down here and kind of hang over the hearse a little bit. So I found this amazing black and gold fabric. This was an old dress that I haven't worn in forever, so why not put it to good use, right? So all right, so usually when I'm making skirts, especially at, you know, and these are all little nuances you'll kind of figure out as you make more of these, but especially when the doll is kind of in an awkward position like this, I either tend to cover it with a crayon or marker directly over top of the image, or I cut little pieces so I can have fabric so I can, or paper for that matter, but so that I can structure them at an angle, because you're not going to be able to cut a single piece of fabric. It's going to be very difficult. So just do yourself a favor. We're going to cut multiple pieces of fabric and we're going to layer them, and I'll show you. So, and we'll give her some kind of waistline to kind of tie everything together. Just don't worry if it's not perfect. We do want some hangover, but we don't want so much hangover that we lose the hearse. And usually before I start gluing stuff down, I kind of get all my pieces together and then arrange them and kind of play with them a little bit. Make sure I'm happy with the way things are gonna look. And then I'll glue things down the end or just run it through my sewing machine. That's the easy way to do this, especially when you're layering stuff. Okay, so I've layered her skirt in a way I think makes sense. I put little pieces, so I kind of want it to look like there's a front hanging over and then the back of her skirt, because like obviously her waistline is here, so we have to figure out what to do between here and here. We can't cover this up completely because we want her hand sticking out to hold the scythe. So I think the little workaround is just to add some pieces of fabric to kind of make it look like her skirt is hanging off the back of the hearse as well. And then a lot of times when I layer skirts, I do like to use a couple of different types of fabric. So I did bring some gold in here, and I think these gold swatches will look really nice. I don't want to put them all on top. I think I want to layer them in between the black and this little piece here. And I think this is going to come together really nice. I still want to, even though she is the Grim Reaper, I still want to feminize her a little bit and make her look pretty, you know? That's just what I think. I did make a bunch of magazine paper dolls a few months back. And a lot of them I made skirts for them as well. Also we made props for them, and but most of it I kind of focused on making clothing for outfits for them. I will link that above and in the description box if you would like to check that out. But I think if you're enjoying this, you'll really like that video as well. It's non-seasonal. It's just a regular video. This is paper dolls with a spooky twist, which I'm really enjoying. And my dog is grumbling in the background. Can you hear him? He's like, oh, lady, who are you talking to anyways? No one wants to hear what you have to say. And he's probably right. Almost done. So before we glue down the scythe, I want to do something with her top. I usually like to keep the tops a little bit simpler, and I usually don't, with exception, I usually put fabric down at the bottom for their skirt or their pants and use paper or some kind of drawing up top for their for the upper part of the torso. This is gonna drive me crazy, but now that I applied glue, I can't put it through the sewing machine. I don't want to gump up my machine, so I'm just gonna have to wait for this to dry, and it's driving me insane. Okay, so I'm just playing around with a couple of things here. I have this nice little trim, I guess you'd say. I was thinking, because I also hate gluing these little pieces of trim down, I was thinking about putting this through my sewing machine with a zigzag stitch and trying that and just like sewing like this. Let me see if I can make that happen. Okay, so not only did I not make that happen, but I basically decapitated my paper doll in the process. I am so mad. Well, where there is a will, there's a way. We kept most of her head, and we are gonna come up with a plan B for her, and that's gonna probably mean some kind of a shirt, given the circumstances. So this is a great time to talk to you guys about how I normally kind of outfit them with their clothes. Grab yourself a pencil. I'm so mad right now. And we're just gonna build her an imaginary shirt to cover up our indiscretions. Okay, it doesn't have to be exact. We'll obviously do some trimming at the end. we want to kind of create a neck for her. So we're gonna cut out our shirt. Okay, so I have a loose kind of approximation of the size of the shirt. We may have to do a little bit more trimming. Those people who say there's no such thing as an accident, only happy accidents, they're full of garbage. Full of garbage. I'm just being sour right now, I'm sorry. Okay. Alright. We can live with this, we can work with this, okay. And now we definitely have to make her a collar since her chin is gone the way of the dodo bird. Okay. Now I definitely actually am gonna have to sew this because this is never gonna stick to glitter paper for sure. So I'm gonna cut this color. I'm actually gonna be careful and mindful of what's going on this time. And yeah. All right, so her collar is sewed on, and I took those little pieces of trim. I was trying to kind of make a V-neck for her earlier, and I just decided to use those as the waistline for her belt. So I just zigzag stitched over both of them, and then we still have our little opening for our scythe. So I think now that we have the top and the bottom taken care of, I think now we can put this down. Ooh. What do you think? Just gonna glue this down. Oh, fabulous. Oh wow, I love that. The other thing we could do, since she is wearing all black, we could do something with her shoes. And the other thing I definitely wanted to do was give her a little black veil. So let's do that now. Where are my fabric scissors? Right here. Okay, when we're done making her, I don't know that we're gonna have enough time to make a whole nother paper doll, but I want to show you, I want to go through a couple of things that I've collected to give you some more ideas for some additional spooky paper dolls in case you go on a real kick like I have here and you decide that you want to do up a bunch of dolls. I have a bunch of ideas for you, and hopefully that will get the wheels turning, and you can, I'm sure you'll be able to think of plenty more. If you think of any other like spooky paper doll ideas, please feel free to drop me a comment below. I would love to hear from you. I have these little jewels. I was thinking either cutting out a rose and putting that on her little lace, or we can go along with these little, I don't know where, it's called diamond wrap. I love these. I got them, I think, just at the thrift store. That would look great there on her collar, even though I don't know if that's enough contrast. I'm gonna be brave and glue this down. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna pull out my hot glue gun and we'll attach these. That looks fabulous. I think I'm gonna break up the black and the gold and put one of these really pretty flowers on her little veil there. I have a die cut I'm thinking of using. It's a lantern, and you know, like a Grim Reaper will look for you until they find you, like no mercy. Kind of makes sense to have her holding a lantern. I love that. Guys, the possibilities to like customize these are endless, and you can use whatever medium you want. Paper, fabric, you know, old jewelry, charms, sewing, though I do recommend you be more careful than I was. Digital images, printables, paint. Once you prep your doll and gesso it, it really doesn't repel markers or paints anymore. Even watercolor looks good. And in fact, let me show you. I'll demonstrate to you. Let's give her some red lipstick. So I'm gonna pull out these watercolors and watch this. I don't have a red in here, that's surprising. How about this like pink? You don't want to use too much water, especially if you're working in a small area. See? Give her nice rosy lips. I like. She's like, let me doll up for Bob before I go pick him up. Before I go pick up Billy Bob, I want to put on my Sunday best. Oh yeah. Pretty cool. Alright, now she's got a little color. She ain't ghostly anymore. Well, she's ghostly, just, you know, but in the best way possible. Alright. So, we could even, you see her lips? Look, see? Look, we could even like make a bumper, like a plate, and write something on it. That might be too morbid. What if we draw like a little tag? What would we say? Reaper? No, that's too obvious. It would be like CMN for you, like coming for you. Oh boy, I'm having way too much fun with this. Don't think any less of me, guys. I'm not an awful person. Maybe we'll let that one go. Okay. No, this really is too much fun. I'm having an absolute blast right now. Can you tell? Can you tell? Okay. What did we say? Oh, I think I want to give her an earring. Let me get out. I had some liquid pearls. Everything else is gold. Well, let's just stick with the gold theme. Let's make her. I love using my liquid pearls to make jewelry. Alternatively, you can go along the waistline to make like jewels in the belt, or dip along the neckline to kind of create a collar. Okay. Amazing. Maybe we'll even make the little scythe a little bedazzled. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh yeah. Oh, that's what. And then let's pull out that lantern quick. I think it's on copper paper. I'm not sure. So there's the little flame. And guys, obviously you don't need die cuts. You can freehand, you can draw things. But I just thought this would be like perfect. So we're just gonna have a little lantern for her. And we'll, so glamorous. There, maybe? Does that look weird? She's got fire in her crotch. Oh my. I think I've had one too many coffees today. And off to the side maybe. Okay, so I did fix the image to her side as if her hand was here to hold the lantern, and I am thrilled with this. I absolutely love how this came out. So don't be afraid to use your creativity, right? Just If you're stuck, maybe Google like Halloween inspired images, think of things that are spooky, look at different landscapes, see how you could work your doll into the landscape, and I bet you that will give you a whole host of ideas. So let's talk about a couple of other things that I've pulled and hopefully inspire you to make some other spooky dolls. Remember the skeleton doll? I wanted to show you this again to remind you that you don't even have to make a paper doll with the traditional face. You could replace the head with a skull like I have here with Frankenstein. Even, what if we were to replace it with a pumpkin? So obviously you would kind of cut around, you'd probably glue the pumpkin here, cut it around it in the shape of a head, and stick it on. So it can be more whimsical. It doesn't have to be completely realistic and true to life. Okay, so here's the masquerade doll I showed you in the last video. She has a mask and a hat on. And what if we expanded upon that idea and dressed our dolls in costumes? They would be costume paper dolls. You could think about what you were for Halloween as a kid. You could give them some butterfly wings and a little caterpillar things. I'm sorry, I can't think of the name for it. What about a fairy? What about a superhero wearing a cape? Think about very simple costumes you could apply to the doll while it's still looking like a doll. Okay, and then these dolls. This is the bridal doll we made, the vampire bride. Think of like, if you want to make an intricate doll and intricate clothing, like just make a bunch of like wedding dresses. I guess you'd call this a vampire bride because she has some like blood splashed. It's not really blood, it's red paint, but splashed on her veil. Think of the different, like you can make a zombie bride, you can make all different kinds of things. Okay, some other ideas. This lady, she's got bones in her purse. Think of like spooky elements you can apply to the doll. She has a spider web at the bottom of her dress. She has bones in here. Okay, witch dolls look really, really nice, and you can literally doll them up to make them look very fashionable. I don't know if I'd call her a witch. She doesn't really have a witch hat. She actually has some cheap aluminum foil knockoff going on. But think about how you can use your creativity. Do you see her veil here? This was actually mesh from a fruit bag. Okay, this is supposed to be a bottle with some poison in it. Maybe this isn't a witch doll. I keep calling her witch doll. This is a Black Widow doll. She has her veil here. She has a bottle of poison. She's ready to kill you. And then that's where the Black Widow, or not the Black Widow, the Grim Reaper comes into play. Can make a whole storyline with these dolls. Okay. A couple of other things I wanted to show you. Ideas for props. Print some digital images. You can get a lot of these for this. These are actually mostly from the Graphics Fairy, but you can print, get images of a bug online for free. You probably want to size this down, but bugs, snakes, cats, those all look really, really good. Incorporated into these spooky images. Maybe have a bug on the shoulder. I have some images from my Nat Geo magazine of bats. I was gonna make a doll with a veil and cut out a bat and have a bat standing up here. Okay, you could do the same for bugs, or put a bug crawling up their dress. Just an idea. Don't forget, you can incorporate other spooky images into a landscape. You can set up, kind of like I did with the hearse, you can use different items, different objects to create backgrounds. For instance, obviously they would have to be to size, ideally, but taking a smaller doll and putting her right up next to this tree to make it look kind of like a spooky hollow scene. Or what about some of these like skeleton birds? Putting this next to one of your dolls. So you can create a whole landscape using these paper dolls. Or I have a house here. What about putting a larger house or smaller doll in front of this haunted house and making a whole landscape out of it. I have these bottles here. I think I'm going to cut out these bottles with a skull. I'm going to cut one out and position them in a doll's hand to hold. I think that could be really fabulous. How about some brooms as props? Cutting out a broom and putting it in the hand of your doll, just like I have here with this doll's guitar. Maybe giving them a bouquet of flowers to hold, but maybe coloring over these flowers and making them really dark, or red roses like we did for our vampire bride. What about making an Edgar Allan Poe inspired doll and having a raven sit next to her or perch right up on her shoulder? How about giving your doll a jack-o'-lantern to hold, or making them a little bucket of candy they can go trick-or-treating with? One of the other props we could have given our Grim Reaper doll is a skull. That would look really cool. Maybe giving a snake, having a snake. If you have a doll with a really intricate train of her dress, how about having a little snake slithering around at the train? Okay, another idea in terms of working a doll into a landscape. I just searched for cemetery images in graphics, and this is what I came up with online. So I plan on making a couple paper dolls and incorporate them into a cemetery. Alternatively, if you don't want something that takes up a lot of space, you can take a grave, cut it out and put it onto a paper and kind of make the scenery yourself and fit your doll into that. So you can either work your doll into a scene like this and have it would be one single item, or you can create a background design later on a journal page and then work your doll into the scenery itself. So guys, I hope you enjoyed making these paper dolls with me. I hope this gave you tons of ideas. If you think of any other spooky elements you can add to your paper dolls, please drop me a comment below. I would love to hear from you. As always, if you enjoyed this and you found value in this, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I can't wait to see you the next time.